President Trump has kicked off his 9th cabinet meeting of 2025. It was long, clocking in at nearly 3 hours. And while it was wide-ranging, it's clear that there's one message that is the message of the moment: affordability.
Last January, we've stopped inflation in its tracks. And there's still more to do. There's always more to do, but we have it down to a very good level. It's going to go down a little bit further. You want to have a little tiny bit of inflation, otherwise that's not good either. Then you have a thing called deflation, and deflation can be worse than inflation. But we have it almost, we'll soon be at a perfect level, but we inherited the worst inflation.
It's also a favorite buzzword of Democrats: affordability, affordability, affordability. In fact, that is the theme of today's special election in Tennessee.
We've said from the beginning this is a campaign about addressing the affordability crisis in the state of Tennessee, and I have not seen any solutions or remedies from their side. And I'm not surprised they're resorting to that. You know, I think Trump and the federal administration and his billionaire friends spent millions of dollars in a seat they should have run one-handedly, and it's because people are disenchanted with their economic agenda.
President Trump, though, says simply saying the word isn't the same thing as fixing affordability.
You know, there's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about, affordability. They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. You just say it. Affordability. I inherited the worst inflation in history. There was no affordability. Nobody could afford anything. But the word affordability is a Democrat scam. They say it, and then they go on to the next subject. And everyone thinks, oh, they had lower prices. No, they had the worst inflation in the history of our country. Now, some people will correct me, because they always love to correct me, even though I'm right about everything.
He's got receipts. Here's a look at the price changes from January to September of both Joe Biden and President Trump's first years in office. Take a look at overall inflation. During the Biden administration, it was up 4.3%. During the Trump administration, it's up 1.6%. You can see it in various baskets of goods. Look at Biden on groceries, 3.8% versus 1.3% for Trump. New and used cars, 13.6% for Joe Biden, down 0.5% for President Trump. It even carries over into car insurance. In fact, gas prices are also down. They're less than $3 a gallon, and that's lower than this time last month or this time last year. You remember when egg prices became the economic barometer? Well, a dozen eggs will run you about $1.50 less than it did in January. All of this leaving Democrats with egg on their face. And Vice President Vance says, stay tuned.
The most important statistic for the American people is that under the Biden administration, the average American family lost over $3,000 of household income. And under the first 10 months of this Trump administration, they have gained over $1,000 of household income. But I think for congressional Democrats in particular, if they want to talk about affordability, they ought to look in the mirror. We are fixing what they're broken. We're proud to do it. It's the job that we were elected to do. But I think 2026 is going to be the year where this economy really takes off.
So the vice president reminding everyone that wages and income are up. And he looks optimistic into 2026, while President Trump said there's one reason for all of that optimism: tariffs.
Next year is projected to be the largest tax refund season ever, and we're going to be giving back refunds out of the tariffs because we've taken in literally trillions of dollars, and we're going to be giving a nice dividend to the people, in addition to reducing debt. We, as you know, I inherited a lot of debt, but it's peanuts compared to the kind of numbers we're talking about. So we're going to be making a dividend to the people, and additionally, we're going to be able to reduce debt. And as time goes by over the next 2, 3, 4 years, those numbers are going to go up.
President Trump today talking about the trillions invested into America. Now they're looking to invest in the future for Americans. How? Well, President Trump is announcing investment accounts for millions of children.
Trump accounts will be the first, I guess you could say, real trust funds for every American child, allowing family members, employers, corporations, generous donors to contribute money that will be invested and grow over the course of a child's life, to be used for their benefit after they turn 18.
Here's the framework of a Trump account. $1,000 from the U.S. government put into an account for children born over the next several years. That money will be invested in stocks and ETFs, and it's tax-free, the growth of that money, until the child is 18 years old. It's for any American citizen born 2025 through 2028. You have to have a Social Security number, have to be a legal citizen of America. By the way, parents can also continue to contribute $5,000 annually into that fund. Employers can also contribute $2,500, and then it can be withdrawn at the age of 18. After that, it works like a traditional IRA. So what is the truth? How are we doing? Where are we on affordability? Dallas-based real estate developer and restaurateur Ray Washburn is with us here in Dallas. Ray, it's good to see you.
Good. Thank you, Will.
So let me just lay down for anyone who doesn't know a little bit of your bona fides. You are on the board of Sunoco, the largest retailer of gasoline in America.
Chairman.
You are a restaurateur. You own restaurants and sit on the board of Red Lobster. And you are a real estate developer across Dallas and across the United States of America. So you have various touch points into the economy. You see what's going on, Ray. What's going on with affordability?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on. But first, I want to talk about gasoline prices because I'm chairman of Sunoco, the largest seller of gasoline in the United States. As you said, gas prices are right at $3, just a little bit below. A year ago, they were closer when Biden was president in the fours. So we brought gas prices down, or the president has through his policies, by almost a third. And so that has put so much more money into the U.S. consumer's pocket. As far as restaurants go, we have seen prices since 2020 have gone up around 23 to 24%. It was very hard for wage growth to keep up with it, but this year, since the president's come in office, we've seen the cost of everything but beef, now beef is an outlier, has flat. So as wages have increased, that's given people more buying power to go to restaurants and buy food.
Well, let's dig into a couple of nuggets there. So gas prices are flat, but you and I have talked. Diesel is showing interesting indicators in that it seems to be indicating, I think you believe, that manufacturing is in fact coming back to America.
That's right. Gasoline sales overall are flat for the year, but diesel's up 4%, which tells you people are manufacturing in the United States and shipping with the United States because diesel is used primarily for 18-wheelers and shipping. So when you look at that and the tonnage being moved, that's a great indicator going into 2026 that manufacturing and jobs have been onshored.
Which is a great indicator for the future wages of Americans. If it's a great indicator for jobs, hopefully it's a great indicator of wages. Back to the restaurants now for a moment. We had this massive hyperinflation for the first 2 or 3 years of the 2020s. Now, that made restaurants, like the ones that you own, expensive. And as we saw, inflation is down, but we are still today living with those prices that you inherited, that we all inherited essentially up through 2024.
Right. Well, wages for our employees also went up along with that. So even though our cost of goods sold is flat this year, wages continue to grow, which is the reason prices stay elevated. On the outlier, like I said, we've got to get our beef herds under control for meat and protein. But other than that, everything else is very, very stable, and we're very encouraged for next year.
Ray, I've talked about this on this show. The three sectors of the American economy that seem to be the biggest pressure points and the ones suffering from inflation that usually outpaces the major index is housing, healthcare, and education. And the one that, for example, Zohran Mamdani or Afton Bain in Tennessee often talk about is housing. How do we bring housing something more accessible to the American people?
Well, right now, lumber prices this year are down 10%. So that's going to help bring down the cost of housing. But we've got to get interest rates down. Once we get the mortgage rates down, people can afford to go back into homes. But also tax policy and regulatory policy is helping as well.
And what could we do on tax policy?
Well, on tax policy, for example, on a lot of the conversions of office buildings in downtown areas and things like that, we need a much more aggressive tax policy to encourage people to go in, because the housing for those are the firemen, the policemen, the teachers, really the workers of this country are the ones that occupy in most downtowns around the country those type of apartments. Why? Because that's where their jobs are and they want to live down there. But it costs just as much to convert an office building to an apartment as it does to build a garden apartment in the suburbs. So they need a more aggressive tax policy, faster depreciation, things like that, which the HUD secretary is working on right now.
To incentivize development of affordable housing.
And by the way, Scott Turner, as a shout out at HUD, is doing a fantastic job on this issue right now.
That's good to hear. So last thing, Ray, so as we mentioned, Sunoco,
Yep.
Red Lobster, Mi Casino here in Dallas, various shopping developments across the country, a lot of touch points into the economy. How do you feel about 2026?
You know, we're projecting Sunoco a flat year. We're projecting our shopping centers kind of a flat year next year. But I'll tell you, the tailwinds that the president has created is going to be great going through the 2026 election. So we're very encouraged by that. We just have to keep regulatory burdens down through this next election.
All right, Ray Washburn, great to see you.
Great, thank you, Will.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.